doing? Look at those screwdriver skills. She's very handy gal.
Super handy. Yeah, I'm just gonna take these off because we're gonna try to cover up our little chart table chair. I'll show you in a second. I'm gonna remove those, so I want to kind of reupholster it because it has this, which I really have always liked this color because it kind of matches kind of the wood, but obviously it has seen better days and it's pretty weathered. So we have this extra material that it matches exactly all of our other furniture colors in the salon. So thankfully, I don't have to do much. I just have to kind of staple it on and cut the extra and kind of finish up this end. So that's what we're gonna work on today. All right, so let's figure this out. This is the 4. I'm gonna try to sew out here since it's a beautiful day. Connor's cleaning out the engine room because when we went sailing last time, the coolant hose clamp kind of loosened up because it was kind of hot and cold. We think it would just like the weather changes made the clamp little loose, and so he's cleaned that up because we got coolant everywhere. Well, my hair is real nice. I'm turning into Connor. Let's go. If I learned anything from Connor, I remember him saying the key to any project is preparation. So drinking some matcha tea and starting off by taking all the hardware out. So I already took those screws out. I'm gonna take that one out so then we have a nice clean slate to work with. Connor and I both hard at work. I ended up not sewing or just stapling. I try to avoid sewing as much as possible. Got away with it this time. I just told Connor I sewed all of this myself.
Good job, babe.
Getting closer to my final project. All right, so we're just about finished. It looks great. Stapled on the bottom. It's just this part. I started stapling it and then it was still pretty loose, so I am going to I took out the staples and I'm just gonna redo it and help maybe have Connor like really hold it and cinch it up, and then I'll staple it down. But right now I turn around and he is gonna lose it at me if I don't feed him.
I need some brain power for this one.
So while I go make him some food, let's dive into seeing what he's up to.
Started on this whole battery rewiring project here. I decided to move the inverter charger because it's right here over the generator. And as I was doing that, I realized that there's only one screw on this whole side holding this up, and hanging right over the generator and bumping around, that could be very catastrophic. You know, we got a lot of power coming in through here. This is going to be the direct wire to the batteries, which is a good chunk of power. I'm going to put it over here on this wall, keep it kind of more accessible and easy to check out. We also have a little issue here where the frequency is spiking, so when I hook it up to inverter power, I'm getting 60 hertz for a little bit, and then it goes to like 70 plus hertz. So weird issue that I've never heard of before and haven't been able to find anything online. We'll figure it out, but I want to be able to open this thing up and kind of look at what's going on inside there. Usually I'm pretty capable of troubleshooting circuit boards, so we'll figure it out. This is our whole inverter charger taken apart now. It's just really the cover taken off. But this is what's inside of it, and I'm just kind of inspecting for kind of popped caps on any of the capacitors here or anything like that that might be causing issues. I don't see anything looking bad, so it looks like we're in pretty good shape as far as this goes. And hopefully that spike is just because we weren't getting proper power out of our old, decrepit batteries. So hopefully once we hook up the new lithiums to this system, we won't be getting those surges anymore. We'll cross our fingers, hope for the best, keep monitoring.
Okay, y'all, I was a little panicked because I finished my chair, but when I put the hard wire in, we had a few little hiccups, let's just say. And I went for a walk, cleared my head. This is the before. And here we go, finished product. Looking good. My problem is when I put this hardware on, because of this lining, it kind of blocked it from latching on in here. So I'm curious of how this is gonna end up looking in the future, because I did just cut that and I'm a little nervous it's gonna fray there, but I stapled the crap out of it and I hope it will do. But thankfully it is the end that's connected like here, and voila, not too bad. That's the other side. That one turned out even worse because when I screwed in that hardware, it kind of pulled some of the fabric, like a thread in the lining, but thankfully that's on the inside, so you don't really see that. But hey, we got ourselves a new chair. That was my celebration dance. I guess that's the boat telling me, you ain't done, girl, there is more. Because I do hear some F-bombs in here. What's going on in here, Connor? You're back.
I just broke my screwdriver.
Okay, I'm gonna bring you. That's all, folks. All right, I'm coming with the screwdriver. I got you.
These little Klein insulated drivers are really nice, but they're not the strongest things in the world. This is the second one I've broke.
Shoots.
Maybe I'll stop buying them.
Maybe now. You learned your lesson.
Maybe.
All right, we just used our muscles, and we just got all of these batteries off the boat.
Yeah.
Connor,
I'm still out of breath.
Yeah, I was like, are you still trying to catch your breath?
These things are so freaking heavy. At least twice as heavy. Probably 4 times as heavy per amp hour for these things. So we're happy to get rid of them. Happy for the extra storage in there. Get to keep all my oil and spare gasoline.
And Eliva just shed like 300 pounds in less than 30 minutes.
Can't you tell? She looks so
Yeah, she's so skinny. All right, bye. You want some help?
I might need help on the way up.
I got you.
So I've just been running the wires for the new batteries, whole setup here. I had to take out the old batteries, that's where they were. And so I took out the whole tray, and now I get to run the wires underneath there. And as I was doing that, I noticed this a little while ago. Out of our sea strainer there, we have a few outlets. One's for the generator, one's for the, raw water for the motor. And then one was just going over here by the batteries. I don't know what they ended up using it for, but it was just kind of blocked off like that. And so I cut the end off and was able to pull that hose through. It's still connected to the outlet side of our sea strainer. And so now my theory is, if that sea strainer were to ever get clogged, or the inlet, the whole system were to ever get clogged, the outlet wouldn't be the thing to get clogged. But I have that outlet potentially configured as an inlet now. So I took that hose, I ran it back under here to where our through holes are. We left this one, I knew I was going to need it for something, so as a temporary kind of emergency fix, I figure I can take that hose, I'll put another sea strainer on this right here to keep it all the sea strained out of there, and then and then I can hook this hose up to that through hole. So if that was to ever get clogged at all, I can still keep the engine running. It might heat up a little bit faster. I might not get, you know, the same kind of coolant out of that, but it'll at least be something running through there and buy me a little bit of time while I figure out the other through hole sea strainer. I think it's a cool idea. What do you guys think?
Love it.
So I just hooked up to lithium power and I got 123 amps charging right now. And in here, we're all hooked up and looking decent. I still got to clean up my tools, but I did have this little FLIR camera, and it is showing, even though I used a 4-aught cable, which should be good for 400 amps, I believe, is I'm still getting a little bit of hot spots. So I'm glad I upsized that cable. It's only 90 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's not like overly hot, but it is warming up. So always good to minimize the heat and upsize the cable, I guess. So happy about that. Another thing is seeing a little bit of heat on all the charging cables, except, oh, now that one is heating up. Alright, we got a pretty even heat on all the cables though, so that's showing that we're pretty well balanced, I think. So cool little experiment. We are getting ready to go to Catalina on Friday, Saturday, something like that, hopefully. So we're gotta clean the dinghy, do some maintenance on the outboard. We got the outboard up here so we can do some oil changes and all that good stuff. A little lubrication. We got the dinghy all emptied out, all hooked up to the little harness there. And Malvina is gonna lift this out with her bare hands. We got the main halyard hooked up to it right here, and we're gonna have to try and hoist it up from there and get it onto, first we're gonna bring it onto the dock here, and then after it's all clean, then we'll bring it up onto the deck here. And we'll be ready to go. But this is a little bit complicated because it doesn't fit, you can see, very close. So we're gonna basically probably have to untie the dock lines and just kind of hoist it up onto the dock here. So we'll show you how it goes. Should we set up a time lapse?
Why not?
All right. Mostly out of the water. Just gotta hoist it up a little bit more, and then we'll get the tail on the dock, and then we'll lean the nose up against the boat, and Malvina can get to scraping.
Scrub-a-dub-dub.
Find some metal so we can make our hard lifelines.
All right, so let me show you the before. Oh, gnarly. Gnarly, gnarly, gnarly. But we're gonna get this done. I got some good music in, and we're gonna clean this baby up. And that stuff is going everywhere. I don't know if you can see. I just took a little water break. It is all over me. I kind of just hosed myself down because Connor needed some measurements because he's getting some hard lifelines, but take a look. We're getting there, we're getting there. All right, all right, all right. Like Connor said, mowing the lawn, I'm mowing the lawn. All right, short people problems when you can't reach the tippy top. I know I can get the halyard down, but Connor's not here, and this is a really heavy dinghy. I don't want to struggle with it, so instead, we're just taking my cooler. We're just gonna stand on it, and then we're gonna be able to reach, baby. Improvisation. Woo-hoo, it's getting hot out here. I am so close. Literally just that little tip. So my cooler did work great, but I'm gonna have to find a few more books to stand on or something to add on to it, or just wait for Connor. It looks good. Lawn mode. gonna try to put hard lifelines on the boat. So I just took out our 2 soft lines. So there is nothing there. And we're gonna work on putting this bad boy in. Look at these hard lifelines. Oh yeah.
Pretty nice. For the top one, we were able to just slide it all the way through the T instead of cutting it in the middle. So that's super nice and kind of ties the whole thing together.
Yeah, this is one piece right here. And then the bottom ones will be 2 separate ones.
It's going to be a little bit complicated, but it's mostly just to give kind of a mounting if we wanted to put the solar panels out horizontal.
Pretty cool.
This one will just get a coupling right here. We'll cut this to length.
Yeah, Connor got like a 90 here to connect that in. A T right there. And now he's working
Hi.
to cut.
I'm gonna have to cut this one off and then we'll cut this to length. Luckily, I got this as 13 feet and we got 1.5 inches to spare here, so that's pretty good, pretty lucky, I'd call it.
We're ready to charter. Let's go. Why are you using a little bit of WD-40?
Just has a little bit of cutting fluid here, just to kind of cool down the blade so we're not burning through blades, and work hardening the stainless steel. Whenever stainless gets hot, it does work harden, which means that it actually gets harder to drill or cut through the hotter it gets. So always good to kind of slow down and keep it going. So you'll notice I'm just going about half speed or whatever on the Sawzall too. Some people insist you should only use a hacksaw, but I feel half speed with a good blade, you know, it's still in the blade a little bit, but it's still cutting pretty good. So
Are you doing more upgrades?
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
So now we need to figure out how to put this bag on there. So what I've come up with from the spare parts that I have is I'm gonna drill and tap these bolts in there. So that bolt will go through here and be able to be threaded into that. And then we can still have the little lifeline gate here. And this will also hold this down so I don't have to do anything on that side too.
Nice job.
Hopefully it'll work. And that's just good enough to hold it. And I figure, I was thinking about riveting it first, but then I thought about it and I can't get the rivet gun in there flush enough to actually be able to hold the rivet. So I'm gonna have to do something. I think the hex head's gonna work better than a Phillips, just because the Phillips driver is gonna have a tough time getting in that direction also. So we can stick, I might not be able to get a full open-end wrench around it or anything like that, but we can at least kind of put some channel locks around it and tighten it down that way. So that should work.
Good job, babe.
Thanks.
Look at these pretty lifelines. Nice and hard. Thanks everyone for following along. And if you're like us and want to view our episodes without advertisement, check out Reupholstering on Patreon. You have the option to join our community who enjoys ad-free content and other ways of connecting with us. Once you're on Patreon, you can click memberships where it'll take you to the 3 tiers we offer. We offer the happy hour mate, the weekend cruiser, and also the liveaboard. This is a brand new addition we started to explore, so give us a holler if there are features you would like to see, and let's grow this Livo community. Thanks y'all, now go seize the day.